here because the outside world rejects you.
Well, let's talk about the reboot again. One of the more interesting things to think about when it comes to this upcoming movie is, who will the villain be? Just to recap, for the 1990 movie, there was Shredder as the main villain. 1991, Secret of the Ooze had Shredder again, this time with Tokka and Razor as villains as well. Can't forget Tatsu either, who was in the first movie and in the second movie. Then in the third movie, it was Walker and sort of Lord Noriaga a little bit, but Walker's more the main villain. Then in the 2007 movie, there was Max Winters and those stone monsters, and we get Karai in there for a little bit as well. And finally, we had the Bay movies, which did Shredder, Karai, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Krang, and Baxter. In my opinion, I feel like the only one they really hit out of the park was Shredder in the 1990 movie, but I do like Tokka and Razor in the second movie. So again, in my opinion, first movie knocked it out of the park when it comes to the villains. Second movie was good too. But yeah, then after that, I feel like it's a little lackluster. Walker wasn't like a well-known Turtles villain or anything like that. And same thing with Max Winters. So I feel like it took a little bit of the hype away. Also with the Bay movies, the Shredder in that first movie just didn't feel or look like the Shredder. Looked almost like a super Shredder type thing. And even though he did look better in the second movie, I feel like the hype was already gone. Anyways, with this upcoming Turtles movie, we still don't really know much about it. We don't know the tone. We really don't know the demographic they're going to be going after. Is it going to be older teens and young adults, but still suitable for younger audiences to see, if parents allow? Kind of how the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie was. Or is it going to be a more lighthearted, bubbly take, almost like a Pets movie or something like that? We're not really sure. I hope it's the first thing. And with Seth Rogen producing and all that stuff, I would imagine it's going to be a little bit more in line with that first option. But then again, I don't know. We haven't heard much on that element of the film yet. Nothing really would surprise me at this point. To me, I think the first option is the best idea, but sometimes, they do what they're going to do. But let's assume that that's what we're getting. We're going to get a fun and funny, but with serious moments and lessons that's a little bit on the gritty side type movie. Let's assume that's what we're going to get. We're going to need a really cool villain. And I'm talking about a villain that could be the main villain, not a side villain or a sidekick to the villain. A villain that I feel could headline the film. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at who should be the main villain in the upcoming Ninja Turtles movie reboot. First villain I think could headline this movie is Hun. With control of his purple dragons, it would be a nice nod to start off a new movie franchise this way and see the Turtles dealing with street level crime, gang stuff like that for a while before heading off and doing more dimensional type stuff. In my previous video, I had mentioned I'd like to see them stay around this level for maybe like 1 or 2 movies, like street level type stuff. Come to think of it, after I made that video, I would like them to stay longer actually, maybe like 3 or 4 movies. Seeing the Turtles trying to take down the purple dragons and Hun would be pretty awesome to see. Maybe you could even hint the Foot Clan a little bit here and there, setting up stuff for a second movie. Maybe it's a organization the purple dragons deal with and lets the audience that Shredder is coming. Now, I know normally the Turtles deal with Shredder first, but would it be interesting if Karai was the first villain that they meet? Maybe she's doing Shredder's bidding, she's in control of the Foot, and the Turtles have to deal with her and eventually get the job done, only to upset Shredder, which sets up, you guessed it, Shredder coming in a future movie. Karai would be cool to have because she controls the Foot and sets up that Shredder's coming, but you don't have to waste them in the first movie and it builds up for more stuff that could get the hype going through the roof once you finally see Shredder. Baxter Stockman, I don't know why, but for the last couple years, his mousers have been something I really want to see in a Turtles movie. I thought it would have been a live action movie, but as we know, we got the announcement of the CG animated movie. So I think it could work here too. I love the idea of the turtles having to deal with all the mousers in an almost zombie movie style execution where the turtles are constantly getting invaded by these things, cornered, finding ways out, and having Donnie being the one that saves the day at the end of the movie, obviously with his tech skills. I don't know if showing him as the Fly would be the way to go in that first movie. Maybe show him transforming at the end of the movie, like a little stinger at the end that gets everybody hype about the future. The Fly thing could work though. It could be almost like a second climax to the film after they've defeated him with the mousers and stuff. It would also be interesting to see if they didn't go the Fly direction, if they instead went with him putting his brain inside of a robot, becoming a cyborg, as he's done in some versions. I think either could work. The Triceraton would be interesting to be the main villains because they'd be starting off at such a large story for the turtles. They could go two ways with this, to be honest. Either the turtles get took and they're out in space battling inside of arenas and stuff, or the Triceraton come to Earth and try to take over. I know there's different stories where one thing leads to another, but they could adapt it into such a way where I feel like you could do either one of these first for this new Turtles movie. Is it my favorite option? I would prefer if they saved something like this for future movies, to be honest, but still would be cool villains to see, hopefully later on. Let's take a detour real quick. Now, I might get some flack for this, but I feel like there's certain Turtles villains that are good as like side villains. I don't necessarily know if they could headline a film. I could be wrong, but these villains include characters like Leatherhead, Slash, Rat King, Bebop, Rocksteady, Old Hob. Usually a lot of these become allies of the Turtles later also. Maybe some of these characters could be main villains if these versions of the Turtles already had a few good movies under their belt. But off the get-go, I don't know, I think it'd be kind of hard for one of these alone to hold up a debut film as the main villain. But yeah, I think instead of trying to get one of these to headline as the villain in a Turtles movie, it'd be cool to see them as a rogues gallery that the Turtles have to take on. Maybe you find out who's behind it at the end and it sets up a future movie. Maybe Rat King could headline. I could see that. Like him tormenting Splinter or something like that. Like that one time when he made him eat a rat. Yeah, we'll talk about that one day. Or maybe even Slash, because it'd be like the Turtles taking on another turtle. So that'd be a good selling point. You know what'd be really cool is if they did the Kirby character that they never got a chance to do as like a evil turtle that shows up that the Turtles have to beat. That'd be wild. So yeah, Rogues Gallery could be the way to go. Alright, Krang is a big villain when it comes to the Turtles. It wouldn't be a surprise to me if he was the main villain of this movie. In my opinion, the best way to do this would be not with him coming to Earth with the Technodrome taking over a city type scenario, the way one would think a Krang storyline would go, but more along the lines of the way the IDW handled him at the beginning, where he is this mysterious character, general type, and the Technodrome still being built. I love the way they introduced him in that. It'd be interesting if he finishes construction on the Technodrome by the end of the film and disappears off into Dimension X, leaving it open for him to come back one day. If they were to do Krang as the main villain, it'd be cool if they went in this direction with that movie. Now, when it comes to villains for a Ninja Turtles reboot, none other is more obvious than the Turtles' arch nemesis, the Shredder. Although he has been done many times before in other movies, it's no doubt that I would be totally hyped to see what this version of Shredder would be like. There's so many cool versions of him to pull from. The 1990 movie, the 2003 show, the 2012 show, Batman versus the Ninja Turtles, the IDW comics, the Mirage comics. There's been so many different cool versions of him that I don't doubt that if this was the main villain of the movie, it'd be something to get hyped about. Although we've seen it many times before in other Ninja Turtles movies, I gotta admit, it is the villain I want to see the most in this first movie. Anyways, what do you think? Who do you think should be the main villain in this upcoming Ninja Turtles movie reboot? Should it be Krang? Should it be Shredder? Should it be Muckman? Probably not, but I would love to see what you guys have to say down below, so leave your comments down below on who you think should be the main villain, so the one headlining the film, the big bad the turtles have to take down. Would love to see your guys' thoughts on that one. And maybe I could tally it up and talk about it in another video and see what you all had to say. So keep your eyes out for that, because that'll probably come out in the next couple weeks. Remember to hit subscribe if you're new to the channel and you want more videos like this in your life. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you in a little bit with another video. Take care. Hey Turtle fans, thanks for watching the video. Remember to follow the channel on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and now the freshly launched Twitch channel where myself and Jordan from JW Visuals play all different sorts of games, and as you guessed it, naturally talk turtles sometimes. So go hang out with us there, follow the channel on all the social media, and go ahead and share this video on your social media. There's no better way to spread Turtle Mania than having you guys spread the word as well. Once again, thanks everyone for watching. It really does mean a lot.
Pizza Dude's got 30 seconds.